Many people are attracted to San Diego's coastal properties, so our next guest is here to let us know what the market looks like for 2017. From Danny Davis Real Estate, please welcome the broker owner and the man himself, Danny Davis.
There he is, Danny Davis.
Good to see you again,
Welcome back, my
friend.
Good to see you too.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, the coast, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, this is what makes San Diego, San Diego.
It is. I mean, not a lot of people move to San Diego and don't want to be close to the coast.
Or at least visit it.
Right.
Proximity is important.
Right.
Let's
All
put
the
it that way.
zonies on the coast.
They will tell you that. So when, you know, when I think about the overall market in San Diego, I don't think about it as a whole. I do think about it as coastal, as we call it, and inland.
Right.
And there is a line, there's a gray area in between there.
Sure.
But there really are different markets.
100%.
So, but I've been, the coastal markets over the past 6-7 years have been extremely interesting. I mean, since the crash, what we've seen happen in Oceanside has been tremendous.
Amazing.
Carlsbad, unprecedented. And I still feel like there's opportunities out there. So today, you know, it's great to have you here.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so we can just run right down the gamut because, I mean, when you talk about, you know, obviously the first thing people think is probably, you know, a lot of people don't think about Point Loma or Ocean Beach really as being coastal, but that is coastal too.
It's coastal, yeah. Ocean Beach has a great beach, and you got the pier right there. And, you know, talking about what's going on in Oceanside and in Carlsbad, it's also happening in Ocean Beach as well. You know, I mean, take for instance Oceanside. The investment opportunity is huge in Oceanside because it hasn't caught up to the Pacific Beach, the La Jolla, Solana Beach, Cardiff, Encinitas, Del Mar area. So people looking for still affordable housing, coastal housing, Oceanside's a great place to be. Ocean Beach is a great place to be.
Yeah, Ocean Beach is one of those, it's just a different property types, you know, because it's been there longer. You know, I feel like Oceanside has really come up in the last, you know, decade, let's say. And so it's just a different style of home that's there, a different type of construction. It's not as old as some of the other old beach towns like Mission Beach and Pacific Beach.
Right. And like Oceanside, you have these little niche communities like off of Wisconsin and stuff that are amazing, you know, little craftsman style houses and with ocean views, and you're still just a couple minutes walk to the beach. And then you go to Ocean Beach as well, and as you get, you know, 7 or 8 blocks like Sunset Cliffs area, amazing homes, still somewhat affordable as you start going up the hill, but beautiful views, and you still have the coastal community feel. You still have the ocean feel.
And there's some of these communities are more dynamic. Like I would say Ocean Beach, Mission Beach, Pacific Beach are more dynamic. You never know what you're going to get. Like if you left and came back 10 years later, you're not sure what you would find there.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Whereas you have other communities like La Jolla and Del Mar, and I would even go as far now as to say Encinitas, even though that's a much bigger, Encinitas is huge.
Right.
But La Jolla, Del Mar, you leave today, you come back 10 years, you go in a time capsule and you wake up and then, you know, it's 10 years later, you're going to know what's going to be there.
Pretty much, but you brought up Encinitas, which is funny because I actually live in Encinitas.
Okay.
If you would have thought Encinitas 10 years ago, you could easily drive down the 101 and find a parking spot right in front of wherever you were going. Now they've got so many new bars and restaurants and, you know, fine dining and shops that are opening up. Encinitas is booming. We've got a Whole Foods right on the 101 now, where 10 years ago, no one would have thought it.
That's right. In fact, I frequent a restaurant that's on the 101 called Eve.
I know it well.
Which is a new one in Encinitas across from Better Buzz.
Right.
Which I'd never heard of Better Buzz before, but apparently that's a chain too, a coffee chain.
And that place is jamming.
And it's what do they call it? The best drink ever,
right.
I think, or something like that.
Get buzzed on the best drink ever.
The best drink ever. Yeah, they have this drink. It's called the best drink ever, and it really is good. So things are changing in Encinitas. But Encinitas, when we talk about Encinitas, it's not just coastal, right? Encinitas is this huge. But if we just talk about coastal Encinitas, which, you know, you're talking about Cardiff, Leucadia,
right?
You know, you have those different pockets of it. I still think, for me, coastal-wise, and I'm just talking dollars and cents looking down the line, I like Encinitas over everything else that's out there.
I love it. So, Encinitas, coastal-wise, and then even Leucadia. You know, Leucadia used to be Encinitas' stepbrother almost. You know, people say keep Leucadia funky and all that, but Leucadia is going through a dynamic change as well because it's getting the excess flow from Encinitas that want to be like Moonlight Beach. You know, you've got Neptune that goes along the coast in Leucadia, which, you know, multi-million-dollar houses right there on the coast, but just a few streets back where it used to be more affordable, I guess. A lot of people are priced out from that, and that's Leucadia. So when I see that trend heading up north too. Carlsbad's already gotten pretty expensive itself, and that's why it's hitting Oceanside right now. And take Fire Mountain in Oceanside, for example. 5 years ago in Fire Mountain, Oceanside, you would have been looking at a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 house. Now you're lucky to find one under $1 million.
Yep, and that is, I think, that's part of the wave. Right. So the wave of people and of money and real estate in San Diego has been pushing up north, and it's gotten to Oceanside. It's still not as thick there as it is down here, but I still think that in Encinitas you have your best bang, because while Oceanside has not reached its full potential, it still has gone up quite a bit. Right. Carlsbad, some of the prices in Carlsbad will blow your socks off.
Ridiculous,
right?
Yeah.
So I go, well, wait a minute. Encinitas, not nearly as far away as those areas from like the airport, baseball games, the mix, Mission Valley, that type of stuff. Not nearly as far away from that stuff, but you get this great coastal community, amazing schools, really dynamic aspects.
And it still has that sleepy type of surfer village that people know Encinitas and Cardiff and Leucadia for. It still has that, but it has more of an infrastructure now. Like they just put up the community park behind Vaughn's there off Santa Fe. Right. And there's a skate park now, and it's like I think it's 40-something acres, and softball fields, 2 dog parks, and it's absolutely an amazing community feel. And you walk down the street and wave to your neighbors still. It hasn't gotten built up so much to where it doesn't have that community feel to it.
I think that's the only issue with Carlsbad, and I love Carlsbad. I think Carlsbad is one of the best investments people have made in real estate in the past decade. But it's a tourist area.
And it's pretty expansive. It's pretty big. If you look at Carlsbad Coastal.
It's huge.
Yeah. So Encinitas has 2 or 3 exits off the 5, and that's the whole thing. Cardiff has Manchester and Birmingham. And so you go down to a little community. Whereas if you go into, and that's the thing about Oceanside, as you go into Carlsbad, it starts to get a little more expansive, and then Oceanside gets even more expansive. So you don't have the neighborhood, the typical neighborhood community feel that you would have in these smaller communities.
Yeah, and I think that just depends on what you're looking for, but for me, I like that, and I think I live in Del Mar, and Encinitas is right there. I'm in Encinitas all the time. Right. I go to the shops there. I'm constantly driving Encinitas. Right. I'm realizing, this is probably where I need to be.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, and the city of Encinitas is really doing great things too. Like they're keeping Swami's upgraded. They're keeping Moonlight Beach upgraded. They do the concerts in the park there. Yeah. They just built a few years ago, built the crossing underneath the railroad tracks, so people don't have to cross the railroad tracks when they go to surf, things of that sort. It's a great community. Del Mar, where you live, is a fantastic community too, and it still has that community feel because it is still small.
Smaller.
Right.
Exactly. Stayed smaller. Where the Carlsbads, I don't know if Oceanside is going to be able to be small. Carlsbad definitely is not. Right. But Encinitas still has it. And La Jolla too is one of the ones where we look at the coast, and everything on the coast has been really healthy. Hey, let's be honest. 2016 was a great year for real estate. So we don't have any statistics here to tell you like, oh, this one was good, this one was bad, this one. No, they're all good. Right. So really, what you're looking at now is what are the logistics of the areas? Like, what does it each have to offer? Right. Because while you will see higher price per square foot in La Jolla and Del Mar, one of the things that La Jolla has done a really good job of is maintaining this certain feel, this extremely sleepy, like go there at 9 p.m. and everyone's gone and like off the streets. They have really maintained that. Right, 100%. It's still there.
La Jolla shuts down at probably 11 o'clock midnight. They opened there's a new Sinopolis, or it's called the Arc or something. The Lot in La Jolla, and that's great. And that's probably one of the most late night spots that you'll find in La Jolla, because they keep the bar open for people to go into the movies.
Yeah, which is an awesome spot, by the way. I've been there a few times. Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah. And one of my favorite restaurants is in La Jolla as well, so I go there quite a bit. But these coastal areas, what we've seen is one thing is for sure. Over time, they do sort of identify. They sort of adopt an identity and then maintain it. Some of the areas I don't expect that to happen in our lifetime would be like Mission Beach, Pacific Beach. Right. But even Ocean Beach has its own sort of thing going that it's had going for a long time. I think it's for some people, not for others. Right. But
Yeah,
it's there. It's an option.
It has its own identity. Like Ocean Beach, it's, you know, it was a hippie area in the 70s, and it's kind of held onto that. And, you know, it's gradually losing it a little bit. But I mean, if you look at Ocean Beach 15 years ago, it's quite a bit different. A lot of renters were there now. Now you're starting to see a lot of people buying in Ocean Beach because it's still on the affordability side. It's still a lot more affordable than your La Jolla, Del Mar, and things like that.
And that's the $1 million question I'm going to ask you right now.
Sir.
Okay, Danny, brought you here for this one question. This is the big one.
All right, bring it.
Best bang for your buck, coastal place where you would put your dollars right now. Mm-hmm. You had a briefcase with $1 million.
It's in the lobby.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Where would you put it right now?
Well, am I for an owner-occupied property, or am I looking to invest?
Either or. You can answer however you want.
Okay, I'll answer both. For owner-occupied, I love North County, San Diego. You know, I love the Cardiff, Solana Beach to Leucadia. You're going to get a lot more for your money than you will Del Mar, La Jolla. Carlsbad's a great place to put your money. You know, it kind of depends on the property. That's for owner-occupied because I love those areas. As far as an investment, I'd have to say Oceanside.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking to buy and hold as an investment property solely, you're going to get a lot more for your money in Oceanside.
Fantastic stuff. Danny Davis, thanks for coming in today, man.
Thanks again, Derek.
Really
Always a pleasure.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.